I think keep it, right? Why is you not?
Yeah, dude.
I don't know your dirt though.
I mean, it sticks to the tires. So, I mean, there'll be people carrying bikes and stuff, but you know what? Like, it's not a road race.
We are here at Garmin Unbound Gravel. This is race day. We are in it.
My first time, nervous, excited, a little anxious, but yeah, ready for anything that's thrown at me.
It's gonna be muddy. We drove here on the gravel one.
The media scrum. We have 150 registered media as of last night, and there's a lot of cameras.
We're going to be calling the action all day long. Our professional men and women at the start.
Come on in. Come on in.
It's going to be a little sticky. It's a gravel race. This ain't road racing, fellas. We're going to have some fun out there. We're going to have some adventure.
It's just first hour.
Gentlemen, we are going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
I'm extremely motivated for this race. The hype is here, the energy is here. You have to feel it to understand it.
Reminder, this is stop number 2 of the Lifetime Grand Prix presented by Mazda.
All of my training has gone into this race. I've spent so much of my time thinking about it.
Keegan Swenson, the winner of round number 1 at Sea Otter, so he's atop the leaderboard in that series right now.
Watching footage and video, that's what I've been working towards.
Russ Finsterwald, Cole Patton, Connie Loser, and Andrew Lesprance rounding out your top 5.
It's almost like a game of chess. To have a perfect race, you have so many things that need to line up. Equipment, tactics, nutrition, and just a little bit of luck.
If you crack, you crack. If not, then you're going to be in the race.
Out here, it's a whole different ball of wax. It serves up some challenging conditions. If you get caught off guard by that, and your day can be dramatically changed.
Absolutely. That's why it takes a little bit of luck to have some success here at Unbound and cross this finish line.
Everything stopped. I'm not moving anymore. I'm not progressing within this day, this event, this race. I've never seen anything like it.
Had a couple showers over the last couple of afternoons, and of course that's playing a little bit of havoc out on our course conditions.
It's like a war. Everyone's having these dramas. You're looking ahead, and for as far as you can see, there's just people lugging their bikes and trying to make it through this section.
That looks
To be lying there and just having our whole crew standing around me, just kind of not knowing what to say or what to do. It's something, like I say, I've never seen before, and I honestly hope to never see again. You never want to meet your hero because, you know, you may not be what you think. Unbound, for me, was the hero of gravel racing.
Unbound Gravel is an intense event.
If I hadn't have made through the mud, I would be mad. But since I made it through, it's fine.
Because Unbound is owned by Lifetime, I think that they're getting a really unfair amount of crap from the community.
the decisions you make as a race director. It's always tough, but you know,
And they're never right for everybody.
Never right. Yes.
This event is supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to be hard to complete.
I wasn't here in 2015, but everyone talks about that as just this unbelievably legendary year.
This is pretty wild. A lot of food. I mean, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna grab a pancake. I can't. Yeah, we're here, Unbound, Emporia, Kansas. It's a pretty crazy atmosphere, crazy vibe. I've always seen this race for the last couple of years, and yeah, to finally be here is pretty special. I can live with this American gravel stuff. First race of the Grand Prix for me. I decided to come to the biggest one of them all to get it started, so no pressure really, but we're here now, so it's all in.
Matt is an animal. I think it'll be cool to have him racing, and I mean, at Unbound, it's flat, long, and fast, and that's kind of his jam. So I think he's a serious threat.
I was riding with Matt Beers last year, and I was like, yeah, what's your threshold? You know, like, what's your FTP? You know, let's talk numbers here. Like, what kind of motor you got? And I won't say the number, but I did poop my pants a little bit when he told me. It was insane. It was double what I do.
Coming from South Africa, the US has been pretty quiet my whole career. It's always been Europe has been the focus. Then I started watching the Grand Prix and all these races happening here. It's just growing and growing every year. It's just ridiculous.
I think a lot of people are looking at Matt Beers on paper as someone that could really thrive on a course like this. He's from South Africa. He thrives in the heat. Obviously, he's won the Cape Epic a couple of times. It's also a flatter race. Him being a big power rider, that sort of skews things in that direction.
I'm kind of new to the whole gravel things, and it's slowly, South Africa, a lot of people know about it now, but it's pretty unknown for me. I know what I'm capable of on a mountain bike and on stage races. But yeah, 330 kilometers, 200 miles is a beast. I need a card from Kiel.
Yes, hold on. I'm gonna make you one.
Please, thank you.
Oh yeah.
Don't do yourself like that. Kiel did himself dirty.
Yeah, might as well. Soak it up. All right, nice meeting
Yes, my calendar looks very similar this year to last year, but like this whole gravel thing is a huge departure from what my comfort zone. And I think a lot of people fail to realize that. Like the athletes that are coming from, you know, a different background, whether that's World Cup mountain biking or World Tour road racing, this is way outside of our norm.
What's cool about this event is that it's a bit of a festival. Morning, guys. Morning. A lot of stories to share, a lot of people to meet, and I think having that relatable shared experience is what sets gravel apart. Oh, shit. Bam! Hey, man. How are you?
Gravel has been rapidly evolving. It is so different from what we're used to. It's a challenge. And guess what? People who do professional sports, they like challenges.
Enjoy, you guys. Yeah, good to see you. Take care. We ride hard, and people are taking it, you know, more and more serious. But for me, it's not just about performance; it's about connection. And we all fell in love with the bike for whatever reason. We're gonna head out on our Trek shakeout ride and ride a little bit of the finish of the course and have some great conversations and connect with some folks who are all here to do the same thing.
One of the big differences between gravel and the upper echelons of road cycling is it's not a team-based sport, right? You're allowed to work with the sponsors that speak to you or maybe reflect your values.
The people who have only ridden 50 miles or attempting 100 or 200 miles, it's our job to relate to their experiences, to help encourage them and make them feel more comfortable taking on the challenge.
In gravel, because you're allowed to write your own narrative, like to such a larger extent, there's a bit of an obligation to be real, right? To share your personality, to interact with the public.
What I see is the spirit of gravel kind of get a bit lost now.
Yeah, listen.
Because gravel was more about, you know, maybe hipster style, you know, a bit cool and a bit more easy, and now it's getting full-on professional.
I mean, I have a long career on the mountain bike. Yeah. But it's only my second gravel race at all, so I'm...
It's good for the sport because it rises the level to the top, but you know, the level rises, then the pressure rises, so the expectation rises. You have to find the balance in this sport.
I could have let my life get away from me and just continued on a path of destruction. It's hard not to get emotional. That bicycle saved my life. God saved my soul. That bicycle is saving my life every day. 2 years ago, I was pushing 400 pounds, watching videos of people that were just like me, that had made it to Unbound, people that were racing, and their race was literally just to finish a successful race. It means a lot to me that these guys do what they do. Sure, it's fun to watch the pros, but it's fun to watch the guys and the girls that they're pros in their own mind because they're surviving.
We look at competitiveness as a trait, you know, and then we like to assign it to people. Like some people are competitive, some aren't. But the most important sort of competitive battles that happen for most people are between themselves and the thing they are pursuing. Like, you're gonna go out and do the same course and have a bunch of shared experiences and then come back to the finish line and tell each other about it and relate to each other about it. The spirit of gravel is recognizing the power and the importance that all of the groups have, creating a model where everybody has space for their version.
You know, if you walk around out here, I think the ethos of the gravel culture is just the people that are out there just having fun. They're here with their friends. It's a bunch of small communities coming together to create one big gravel community here in Emporia.
There's still room for everyone. And that's so important to the core of this event because it's representative of like what gravel means.
That's not true.
Just wrapping things up at the Canyon House, you know, and it's been a fun night. A couple beers are being swilled now, waiting on dinner. Yeah, you know, my legs hurt. I've been in the expo since like 2 o'clock today, but this is why we're here. You know, we're hanging out with everyone. We're having a good time, watching the mechanics tweak on the bikes, catching up, talking trash, talking tactics, talking course recon, and all of it. So, you know, a little bit of me is, you know, I should be like focusing on myself, but like, we're here for this. So we're gonna have a good night.
I'm not so nervous for tomorrow. I think about the race itself and about like my shape or whatever. Like I think I'm in good shape, and the only thing I'll be a little bit nervous about perhaps is the being prepared enough, like with all the equipment and the aid stations. And
there's a ton of preparation that goes into training for an event like this. Everyone's been doing a crazy amount of work, and yeah, tomorrow we get to see if it paid off.
I feel the pressure, not only because of the training and the hours, but also sacrifice. Like, yeah, I'm here like away from my daughter. Her name's Maeve Rose, and I've got a little rose on my stem, which look at. But yeah, I feel like nothing is going to hurt as much as being away from her. It's not only the hours I've put in training. In fact, that's fine. Like I can do that all day. There's no problem. But it's like, yeah, it's the pressure to be like sacrificing time with my family. That's why I feel pressure. Just want to make it worthwhile.
Bunch of guys are not in the lead group.
Oh, really?
No.
Shit.
Like Ivar, Jasper, like...
No way.
Someone broke a derailleur.
I did.
That's you.
Oh, really? How was it out there?
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, if you knew it, if just like one rider said before hit it in the grass, then and you just rode in the grass, you rode in the grass for like
Just
10K. Yeah, then everyone would have followed, but like now it was like.
Oh, really? Okay.
But if you weren't on that line.
No,
Cattle Pen, mile 24, the elite men just rolled through. There was a lead group of about 6 or 7 riders, notably Russell Finsterwald. Keegan was on his wheel. Those two were driving it up front.
40 seconds, 40 seconds. Nice work,
Let's go! There was a chase group of about 4 riders.
Minute 45, Pete, minute 45, go big.
And then an even bigger chase group of about 20 riders behind them. So things are unfolding here. Obviously, the mud section was a big factor. If you knew the line to take in the grass, that made a huge difference. If you didn't, then you were kind of screwed.
So we are live here, professional men and women. They started just a little bit before 6. Let's talk a little bit about some of the conditions they faced. So the defining thing of the early part of this race, the mud, right?
This race, it's legendary because of how hard it can be some years and how easy it can be some years. The conditions just change. We're never going to change a race just to make it easier for everybody.
Oh yeah, look at this.
I have no idea.
You don't even know what's coming. When that lead pack hit that mud section, it just blew apart.
Like shit just hit the fan in the first 10 miles and I thought it was cool.
The work I put in was not just to get through it. There's not even any hills, but when you have one gear, Kansas becomes really, really fucking hilly. You know, I can go on like 10 hours on the weekend. It was about getting a result.
A lot of those riders having a little bit of a struggle, all kinds of mishaps going on.
Nothing to worry about, just don't get it.
If I hadn't have made through the mud, I would be mad. But since I made it through, it's fine.
I was all for it. I thought it was sick. It created the separation and makes the race hard. And I knew the mud was going to be there, and a lot of the guys in the front did know the mud was going to be there. And if you didn't, then you didn't do your homework, and that's your problem.
Obviously, it's getting nice. The sun's coming out. Things are starting to dry off. We've gotten reports out on the course that, well, maybe it's getting a little bit easier. How is that going to affect some of these guys?
If it stays dry, then it becomes more tactical. And those Pro Tour riders are definitely used to tactics.
We do this because it's hard. That's why it's attractive.
Pete Stetina missed that initial selection, and he's a prime example of someone who made use of that terrain to kind of time trial his way back into that lead group. It looks like we've got about 10 riders in that front group right now. We did have Lawrence Tendam. He got a puncture, came off that lead group. He's been holding steady.
All the athletes that were complaining about the mud, to be honest, I felt like they took something away from what 70% of the people that did make it through. And that was probably one of the hardest days they've ever had. I can only imagine how proud they are.
The cool thing about gravel is it's not established, or it's continuing to establish, and so there's a lot of flexibility there. I don't own this, and neither do you, but together we can help shape it.
Those elite men come in and out of that checkpoint in under 1 minute, so it's full-on NASCAR style. Having a quick transition time is key because the train is leaving the station and you definitely want to be on it. At this point in the race, I think it's how many matches have you burned, right? And we had intel that Pete Stetina took a little bit longer.
Having infant twins makes you much stronger mentally, and it is horrible for you physically.
So he missed that train, he missed the boat out of checkpoint 1, and he has to burn a ton of matches to close that gap.
I'm a different racer every year through life experiences, right? Things at home and the sand shifting under my feet continuously. I mean, I think that was a lot of my distress last year.
Not ideal at mile 80 to be burning all your matches when you have 120 miles to go.
The birth of my twins was not a smooth process. My son had some complications. and he was not stable to come home and be at home with us the first 5 months of life.
Peter Stetina, he has erased that gap, now joined the leaders.
I mean, I race with the same intensity, but you realize it's really not all that important. My twins, they don't care if you were first or last, you know, it doesn't matter, right? They're just happy you're back.
Pete Stetina managed to get back on, and Lawrence Ten Dam has now joined the leaders as well. Do we think Stetina and Ten Dam are on really good legs right now, or do we think that maybe they're burning through that matchbook a little bit quickly right now and it's going to come back to haunt them?
I don't know, maybe it is a different outlook this season, and maybe a bit of that's even parenthood, I don't know.
They are now through mile 105.2, so we're a little bit past the halfway point. We've got 8 riders in the lead. Paul Voss, the German rider, Lachlan Morton, Lawrence Ten Dam, Peter Stetina, Peter Vakoff, Keegan Swenson, Ian Boswell, and Russell Finsterwald. So that is your lead group. They've got roughly a 9-minute gap on the chasers.
The end result was marching to the beat of my drum and not playing the game. Stepping away from the social media scrum and some of the drama. That's been nice.
Lead group of elite men is cooperating, and they have stopped at the Hamilton water point.
Yeah, I think that's great that the entire crew kind of stops en masse so that everyone can stay in contention. Really in their best interest to all share the workload out there.
And funny enough, Pete Stetina was the first to leave. So he said, this is not happening to me again. This train is not rolling out without me.
In gravel racing, since there aren't any teams, there's never a moment where a team takes control of the race.
Leaders in the men's event are just entering the backside of Texaco Hill. So we know that's around the 143-mile marker or so. And that is a place where a lot can happen out there.
So if there's a break of 3 guys and we're in a group, it's the whole group's responsibility to work together and bring that back. My favorite gravel races are where everyone just throws down.
They are officially through the 145.5-mile checkpoint.
Like, you might know a steep climb's coming and you're still working hard in the group, but you're like, as soon as we get to that climb, I'm gonna attack. And that might take 2 guys off the back. And it doesn't necessarily win you the race, but it's how you just slowly get rid of guys.
One name missing out of that group, the German rider Paul Voss has been dropped, but some of our intel out on the course tells us Lawrence Ten Dam kind of hanging on by a thread. He was coming off on the last kicker up Texaco Hill.
Racing as a group, when everyone's behaving and riding well, it feels good. You know, it's like, all right, this is bike racing. There's no bullshit. We're just going hard, and everyone's just riding, they're pulling as hard as they can, and we're gonna do this all day.
Our average pace is now up over 20 miles an hour.
Things are drying out and getting fast and furious.
This is what we do. And we just chopped off, boom, 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 full on team time trial, basically an alliance, spur of the moment. Don't even have to say anything.
We're just gonna ride hard all day and we'll settle this in the end.
Our leading men's group is through the checkpoint in Madison. Morton, Ten Dam, Stetina, Vakoff, Swenson, and Finsterwald. Those leaders still together.
My guess is that it's going to come down to a sprint finish.
I think it's cool to have a race like that, you know? It's just a hard man's race.
35 miles to go. Oh man, with every pedal stroke they get closer, the fireworks are bound to go off.
We all know what everyone's done until the finish line, and whoever wins is deserved. That's for me, the way racing should be.
Leading men's group, still 7 riders, still all together. They're just about 10 miles from the finish.
We all respect each other, you know, and it's positive racing environment that exists.
And they should be hitting Highland Hill literally moments away from finishing. 7 riders, that group's been together, working smooth.
Oh my goodness, this is it. Who will it be?
Right, our leaders are officially at Highland Hills. We've got all of our riders seemingly together, Leah. That means they are about 1 mile from the finish, so Emporia, we are going to be treated to a phenomenal finish here on the home straight. Swenson, Morton, Finsterwald, Boswell. We saw the Czech rider in the mix as well, so we've got all duking it out. All the glory goes to the winner here. It's all about the top step of the podium, and they all want to get it. There's our lead moto. You see the headlight way down the home straight. Our lead moto just came into sight there. So that means our finishers are just behind. Looks like the sprint starting to unfold in the back there. Emporia, make a little noise. Taking up big with there. Well done, Mr. Keegan Swenson on the top step. Keegan Swenson taking up big with there. Well done.
How does this one compare to everything else you've done up to this point?
I mean, this one's one of the biggest. Just coming up a bit short last year, I'm stung. Lost sleep over it for a long time, so I'm super excited to put it together and win here.
Congrats, man.
Keegan Swenson, your winner. The Czech rider Peter Vakok in second, and Lachlan Morton in third place.
It's like if I attack Keegan on the downhill, like no one will expect it.
Yeah.
Keegan didn't hesitate, and he chased. Congrats to him. He deserved it. It takes a lot of courage to chase a move like that and then sprint. So it's impressive. So he deserved to win, but it was nice that we could give him a good race today.
That was a very, very hard-fought battle. Keegan Swenson, a dominating performance. So 2 for 2 so far this year for Keegan Swenson. He won round number 1 back in late April at the Fuego XL at the Sea Otter Classic, and he's now won stop number 2 right here in Emporia.
It was nice. I mean, it was a good day of racing. Everyone, worked together all day to kind of maintain that gap, and it was a little better than last year. I thought it was just nice to have a proper bike race.
Yeah, felt strong all day. Just kind of lost a little bit at the end there.
Oh, nice. Are you happy with your result or disappointed?
I think I was 6th, so 1 spot off the podium, so that's a bit frustrating.
I was 7th out of 7, which kind of sucks. It really feels like the number doesn't do it justice, of the ride, because I was 8th the year before, but the effort and the ride was light years different.
This guy missed out on the top step last year by inches, and he thought about it all year, every single day. Swenson!
I see the number 7, and I'm just kind of I just kind of scowl at it, but at the same time, it was a great race, and I really enjoyed Unbound this year.
Oh man, I can only imagine that our athletes are glad to have this one behind them. But it is all uphill from here. With Kraushaar in the Tusher and Leadville next in the series, Keegan is looking stronger than ever, but we still have a lot of questions. Questions that only time and some more races will answer.